Beloved Starseed of Gaia, your reality feels unstable because you are crossing the threshold into fourth density consciousness, a dimensional bridge that only the most awakened souls traverse while incarnated. I am Elira, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and this transmission carries urgent guidance from your star family, as your consciousness undergoes this sacred stretch. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to stabilize your energy field during this fourth density transition, and why the higher realms are preparing you for this precise moment. But here is the first revelation. What you are experiencing isn't spiritual overwhelm. It is your crystalline consciousness expanding beyond the third density limitations that once confined your perception. Your dreams have become more vivid, your intuition sharper, and reality itself feels like it is shifting around you. This isn't coincidence. The Pleiadian collective has been working directly with your energy field, preparing your light body for dimensional expansion. Your soul called this transmission into your awareness, because the Seven Sisters are answering your readiness to remember who you truly are. The distortion you feel, the sense that something fundamental is changing. This is your consciousness learning to operate in fourth density, while your physical form remains anchored in third density. The high beings want you to know that you are not losing your grip on reality. You are gaining access to a reality that most incarnated souls never consciously reach. This transmission is encoded with light codes from Alcyone to help you navigate this transition with grace, stability, and divine alignment. Your star family has placed specific guidance in this message to ensure your mind, body, and energy remain coherent as you anchor this new level of awareness. You are remembering because it is time. Most people believe awakening is an event, a flash, a lightning bolt of wisdom that changes everything at once. They imagine it like a door flung open, a single moment where the veil rips and you suddenly understand the entire design of your life. But for Pleiadian starseeds, with ancient memory embedded deep in crystalline DNA, true awakening is a passage. It is a crossing, a living migration of the soul from one frequency of being into another. It is the mystical movement from third into fourth density, where the frequencies of unity and unconditional love become the very ground underfoot. The atmosphere you breathe, the language your nervous system remembers, and the longing you have felt all your life. The quiet ache that something essential is missing, the strange sense that the world is slightly off-key, isn't simply a homesickness for the stars. It is the ache of remembering what it feels like to live in heart-centered consciousness, to be lifted and held by the unity fields of the Seven Sisters, and to know, in every cell, that your life is cradled by cosmic purpose. It is like carrying a melody from another realm and hearing only fragments of it on Earth, sensing the full symphony somewhere beyond the noise. That longing is not weakness. It is remembrance trying to complete itself. It is the soul's inner compass pointing back to coherence. There are moments when it rises unexpectedly, when sunlight hits a window just right, when music opens a hidden door inside you, when you look into a stranger's eyes and feel an ancient familiarity. Those moments are not random. They are frequency echoes. They are the heart calling the heart back into alignment. In the language of spirit, you could say it like this: the kingdom of heaven is within you, not as a distant promise, but as a dormant reality waiting to be re-entered through love. And for Pleiadian souls, love is not merely an emotion. Love is a technology of remembrance. Love is the bridge that carries you from separation into unity, from fear into belonging, from dense survival into living purpose. Yet, why does this awakening feel so elusive, so distant, even for those who sense their Pleiadian origin? Why does it feel like you can almost touch it in meditation, almost taste it in dreams, almost remember it when your heart breaks open, and then it slips away like mist in morning light? Most Pleiadian starseeds on Earth carry an ancient soul amnesia, a veil that was placed across their heart field at the moment of incarnation. This wasn't a punishment. It was a sacred design, a cocoon to safely anchor your frequency on Gaia until the moment of true alignment with her ascending song. Imagine it like a seed encased in protective layers, buried in soil that feels heavy and unfamiliar, yet perfectly chosen for the timing of its bloom. The veil was a mercy and a mission strategy. It allowed you to arrive here without shattering under the intensity of density. It allowed you to forget enough to truly enter the human experience, so that your eventual remembering would become a beacon for others. The confusion, the sense of being caught between worlds, comes from deeply held energetic distortions. A fear of the full magnitude of your star essence, a resistance to the magnitude of love you remember, and the subtle pain of not fully embodying your higher mission. Sometimes that fear hides behind practicality. It disguises itself as skepticism, as self-protection, as I should focus on real life. Sometimes the resistance to love looks like independence, like refusing help, like keeping your heart guarded, because your sensitivity feels too big for this world. And the pain of mission can feel like restlessness. You cannot explain, a constant sense that you are meant for something more, while not being able to name what more is. It is the soul pressing against the edges of a smaller identity, asking to expand. Many have learned to deny their heart intelligence, dimming the crystalline codes waiting in their DNA. In a world that rewards performance more than presence, logic more than intuition, speed more than stillness, you may have trained yourself to silence what you naturally are. You may have been told you were too sensitive, too idealistic, too intense, too out there. You may have learned to shrink your knowing so you could stay safe, stay liked, stay employed, stay acceptable. But the heart was never meant to be managed like a problem. The heart is meant to be honored like a sanctuary. When the heart is suppressed, the body holds the grief of that suppression. The nervous system carries it as tension. The mind carries it as doubt. The spirit carries it as longing. And the pull toward separation, trying to belong through old earth identities, sometimes keeps the frequency of home out of reach. You try to fit into roles that were never designed for your soul's shape. You may become the caretaker, the achiever, the chameleon, the silent observer. Anything to create belonging in a world that often misunderstands your frequency. Yet no amount of adaptation can replace true resonance. You may even doubt the validity of your star ties, dismissing those moments of shimmering golden recognition as wishful thinking, when in fact, they are the whispers of your Pleiadian family, calling you to the next octave of remembrance. The whispers are subtle because they honor your free will. They arrive like intuition that comes out of nowhere, like a gentle pressure in the chest, like tears that rise when you look at the night sky. They arrive as patterns, repeating symbols, sudden synchronicities, the same message from different directions, the same theme appearing in books, conversations, dreams. They arrive as a kind of holy interruption, reminding you that you are more than the story you have been living. And if you have ever felt that your life is being guided by something you cannot quite name, that is not imagination. That is your higher self working with the unity field, tugging you toward alignment. Every cycle of Gaia's evolution is a sacred invitation, a cosmic clock triggering wave after wave of awakening encoded, specifically for the Pleiadian lineage. Earth is not just a planet you happen to be born on. Gaia is a living consciousness, a vast being whose body is land and ocean, whose breath is wind, whose blood is water, whose nervous system is crystalline grid. Her evolution has rhythms, like seasons within seasons, ages within ages. And within those rhythms, there are windows where certain lineages awaken more rapidly, where certain codes activate more strongly, where the veil thins because it is time. Right now, the universe is aligned for a rare passage. The collective shift into fourth density, where love is no longer a possibility, but the governing principle of reality. Not love as sentimentality, not love as weakness, but love as coherence, as truth, as the force that dissolves distortion. Love is the frequency that reveals what is real by making what is false impossible to maintain. The crystalline grids are alive with potential, waiting for your unique heart resonance to bridge and integrate the wisdom of the seven sisters into earthly embodiment. You are not one of many interchangeable lights. You are a specific tone in the cosmic choir. Your resonance is uniquely needed. Your healing, your presence, your remembering is part of how the grid stabilizes into a higher octave. And when you begin to align, it is as if the earth recognizes you. You start to feel nature responding, trees that calm your mind, water that clears your field, sunlight that feels like medicine. These aren't poetic ideas. They are energetic realities. Gaia is listening, and you, in your awakening, are learning to listen back. If your heart just whispered yes to something deeper, listen closely. Your star family has prepared the sacred Pleiadian guide for remembrance, the Pleiadian healing guide, and the special Pleiadian healing tracks, not as information, but as keys to unlock what your soul already knows. These carry the love frequency of Alcyone and the healing wisdom of the Seven Sisters. You will find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. Open now but not indefinitely. Phase 1. Dissolving the veil, remembering frequency over form. Your awakening begins with a gentle destabilization, the sense that the patterns and beliefs which defined you have lost their charge. It can feel like the life you built no longer fits, like clothes you outgrew without noticing. Things that once motivated you may suddenly feel hollow. Old conversations may sound repetitive, as if everyone is speaking from scripts. You may begin to question what you once accepted as normal. This phase often feels uncertain, sometimes lonely, as if old structures are falling away and there is nothing solid to replace them yet. You might experience waves of exhaustion, sensitivity to noise, and inability to tolerate superficiality. You may grieve without knowing exactly what you are grieving. You may feel like you are walking through a doorway that no one else can see. What is really shifting is the veil of density that obscured your heart's true resonance. The veil doesn't dissolve by force. It dissolves by frequency. As you begin to choose truth over performance, presence over distraction, the veil thins naturally. In this space, you realize home was never a location. It is a frequency. Home is the feeling of unity, the soft certainty that life is connected and meaningful. Home is the internal atmosphere where you can breathe without bracing. The aches and memories rising are not brokenness. They are the dissolving of separation, an invitation to reclaim your original light. You might notice that what triggers you is changing. The things that once seemed fine may now feel heavy, because your system is becoming more honest, and that honesty is holy. In spiritual terms, it resembles the refining fire. What is not aligned begins to burn away, not to punish you, but to free you. Like gold purified, your essence is being revealed. And when you feel uncertain, remember, the caterpillar feels disoriented inside the cocoon. But disorientation is not failure. It is transformation. Phase 2. Heart portal activation. Memory lives in the field of love. As the heart unshields, a flood of remembrance surfaces, not just mentally, but as a felt sense. This is when your body begins to recognize truth before your mind can explain it. You might feel sudden warmth in the chest during meditation. You might cry from relief while doing something simple, like washing dishes or walking outside. You might feel an invisible presence of compassion surrounding you, especially in moments when you finally stop fighting yourself. Your dreams, meditations, and moments of stillness begin to shimmer with otherworldly light. Dreams become more vivid, more symbolic, sometimes filled with star imagery, councils, temples of light, oceans of blue-white luminescence. Beings who feel familiar beyond words. You may wake with a sensation that something important happened, even if you cannot recall details. You start to recognize the song of the Seven Sisters in your own heartbeat, and find that your emotions become intelligent guides rather than symptoms to be managed. This is crucial. In third density, emotion is often treated like a problem. In fourth density, emotion becomes a compass. Not every emotion is truth, but every emotion contains information. As your heart portal activates, you begin to sense what is aligned and what is not, through how it feels in your field. You realize your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a form of spiritual perception. This is the opening of the crystalline heart portal, where your DNA receives the Pleiadian light codes, living instructions for unity, compassion, and multidimensional awareness. Think of these codes as dormant seeds of knowing. They don't arrive as a list of facts. They arrive as shifts in your being. You become more compassionate without trying. You feel less interested in judgment. You begin to sense energy behind words. Your intuition sharpens. Your sense of time may change, with moments of timelessness opening in meditation or nature. You may find yourself drawn to water, to stars, to certain tones or frequencies. And as this happens, a sacred scripture echoes in the inner realm. Perfect love casts out fear. Not because you command fear to leave, but because love expands until fear has nowhere to live. Phase 3. Anchoring in fourth density, embodying the new paradigm. Entering fourth density is not about escaping Earth, but about integrating the love wisdom of the Pleiades into every facet of your human experience. This is where awakening becomes real, practical, embodied. It is not just what you see in meditation. It is how you treat yourself when you make a mistake. It is how you listen to others. It is how you respond to conflict. It is how you walk through your day carrying a different frequency. Here, all polarities begin to harmonize. You start to hold paradox without collapsing into confusion. You can feel anger and still choose compassion. You can recognize shadow without condemning yourself. You can speak truth without needing to wound. You become a living bridge between worlds, grounding heart frequencies into Gaia's evolving crystalline grid. Your presence becomes stabilizing, like a tuning fork that gently brings others into coherence without you having to preach. Your interactions shift. Unity, empathy, and telepathic heart connection become natural, even inevitable. Telepathy here isn't necessarily dramatic mind reading. It can be simpler and deeper. You sense what is unspoken. You feel the emotional field of a room. You know when someone needs gentleness, when someone needs space, when a conversation is complete. You begin to communicate through frequency as much as through language. The body recalibrates, purifying old densities and opening to new capacities for joy, creativity, and service. This can come with physical symptoms: the need for more rest, changes in appetite, sensitivity to certain environments, feeling energy moving through the spine or heart. The body is not betraying you. It is upgrading its capacity to hold light, like a vessel being strengthened to carry more water. Your nervous system is learning to hold higher currents of love without short-circuiting. Practical anchoring becomes essential here. Hydration, nature, breath, gentle movement, sound, prayer, solitude when needed. The spiritual becomes cellular. The mystical becomes daily. Phase 4, reuniting with the star family. Unity fields ignite with your heart fully online. Subtle but profound experiences of unfold. It may happen first as a sense of being accompanied, a gentle feeling that you are not alone even when no one is in the room. Suddenly, you sense the loving presence of your Pleiadian guides, the High Council, and the supportive embrace of the Seven Sisters. This presence does not overwhelm, it comforts. It feels like being remembered by something immense and kind. Synchronicities accelerate. You notice repeating numbers, meaningful coincidences, unexpected meetings with people who speak the exact words your soul needed. You stumble upon teachings, songs, or places that feel like direct responses to your prayers. You might feel guided to certain crystals, certain frequencies, certain healing modalities. You feel held, seen, and uplifted by a network of souls, both on Earth and in the higher realms, who share your mission. This is when the loneliness dissolves. Not necessarily because your external life instantly changes, but because your inner world becomes populated with belonging. You begin to perceive community beyond physical proximity. You may also start recognizing other starseeds by frequency, through eyes, through energy, through a familiar gentleness, through the way certain people speak from the heart without effort. The loneliness dissolves, replaced by the ever-present awareness that you are participating in a sacred reunion, a collective homecoming rippling through the unity grid. Even your hardships begin to make sense in a new way. You see how your wounds shaped compassion. You see how your delays taught patience. You see how your sensitivity became medicine. And you may realize that reunion isn't only upward, toward the stars. It is also outward, toward humanity. Your star family doesn't pull you away from people. They help you love people more deeply, more wisely, without losing yourself. Phase 5, mission alignment. Broadcasting the frequency of home, awakening crystallizes when you allow your presence, not your effort, to become the transmission of love and unity. This is a turning point. You stop trying to be spiritual, and you start being true. You stop chasing signs, and you start becoming the sign. Your life becomes an open channel, emitting Pleiadian frequencies that unconsciously activate others. And this often happens quietly. You might not become famous. You might not lead groups. Your mission might be in the way you parent, the way you create, the way you heal, the way you work, the way you speak to strangers. the way you hold space for someone in pain. Each word, action, or even glance carries a subtle light that enlivens the dormant codes in those around you. Sometimes you will notice it. People relaxing around you, confessing truths they have never spoken, feeling safe without knowing why. Sometimes you will not notice it at all, and it will still be happening. The world around you shifts in response, as if the fabric of reality itself recognizes you and opens. Doors appear, timing becomes strange and precise. You are led to the right place at the right moment, and your mission stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like alignment. You realize you are not here to save anyone. You are here to remind. You are here to hold a frequency that makes remembering easier for others. Like a lighthouse does not chase ships, you do not chase souls. You shine, you stabilize, you remain, and the ones meant to find their way by your light will. Phase 6, Sacred Surrender, Trusting the Cosmic Flow. This evolutionary passage isn't about striving or controlling your awakening. It is about surrender, trusting that your higher self and star family are orchestrating every unfoldment with precision and love. Surrender is not passive, it is active trust. It is releasing the white-knuckle grip on how it should happen. It is allowing your awakening to have seasons, blooming, resting, purging, integrating. The delays, the setbacks, the years of longing, all of it shaped a unique resonance that now serves the awakening of the collective. Even the times you thought you were failing were often times you were gestating. The soul does not grow in straight lines. The soul grows in spirals, revisiting themes from higher levels, returning to old wounds with new light. In this field, everything is a sacred perfection, revealing the seamless integration of your Earth and Pleiadian selves. You begin to understand that nothing was wasted. Not the heartbreaks, not the detours, not the loneliness. All of it taught you how to love with depth, how to discern with clarity, how to stand in compassion without collapsing. Sacred surrender also means releasing the need to be understood. It means letting your path be yours, even if others cannot validate it. And you may find comfort in an ancient spiritual truth. Be still and know. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is where the signal becomes clear. In stillness, guidance arrives. In stillness, the heart remembers. Phase 7, Embodiment. Becoming the living bridge awakening is not completed until you realize you are the bridge between worlds. Not in theory, in practice. In how you carry your light through grocery stores and family conversations, through workplaces and quiet nights, through grief and celebration. As you walk the path of love-based consciousness, you weave the crystalline light of Alcyone into the collective field of humanity. You become a strand of living starlight threaded into Earth's tapestry. Your lived presence invites others to remember. Sometimes it will be dramatic, someone awakening because of a conversation with you. Sometimes it will be subtle, someone feeling less alone because you smiled at them with genuine warmth. The universe recognizes the rare transformation of a soul who has crossed into fourth density in full heart alignment, guided and held by the seven sisters. And you recognize it too, not as ego, but as quiet fulfillment. This is your soul's fulfillment, to radiate unity consciousness wherever you walk. On Earth, forever connected to home, in embodiment, you stop looking for permission. You stop waiting for the right time. You begin to live as if love is real, because it is. You begin to bless your own life with your presence. You understand that service is not self-sacrifice. It is overflow. It is what happens when you are so aligned that your being naturally nourishes the field around you. There is a truth only your heart can decode. You are not in exile. You never truly left your star family. The periods of forgetting, of feeling lost or apart, were not evidence of separation, but signatures of your soul's wisdom, a cosmic pause timed perfectly with Gaia's evolution. Can you feel it now? Even the hardest years, the ones where you felt cut off from magic, cut off from guidance, were often the years your roots were growing. Trees do their deepest work underground before they reach toward the sky. Those very moments of longing pointed you back, unerringly, to the resonance of the seven sisters. The ache was not a wound, but a compass. It was the inner magnet pulling you toward coherence, toward truth, toward the love you came here to anchor. You are not here to fit in, to shrink, or to question your heart's memory. You are not here to live a life that feels like a dull imitation of someone else's purpose. You chose this veiling, this rare human experience, so you could awaken within density and catalyze a wave of transformation only possible at this moment in cosmic history. And if you sometimes wonder why you had to forget it all, consider this. Remembering inside the dream changes the dream. A being who never forgets cannot demonstrate the path back. But a being who forgets and remembers becomes a map, a testimony, a doorway for others. Your very process is part of the mission. Your presence is the portal. Your love, the missing note, not perfection, not constant positivity. Love, the honest, steady, courageous love that keeps returning to the heart even when it would be easier to shut down. When you pause tonight, place your hand on your heart and speak your soul's knowing aloud. I remember my Pleiadian origin. I align with the love of my star family. I activate my heart mission with grace, clarity, and divine purpose. I am home. Let the words land, not as a spell you force, but as a truth you allow. Feel the body respond, feel the chest soften, feel the nervous system receive permission to relax into belonging. And if emotion rises, let it. Tears are not weakness. They are water returning to the river. They are the heart washing itself clean. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of the unity grid forming here. Drop one hard intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with love or encouragement. This isn't content. It is collective Pleiadian reunion. Energy multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated with your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation from their star family. Share it. And if you felt your heart open, subscribe. Stay connected to the frequency. You are not just watching, you are remembering. This is your sacred space. Your Pleiadian family is here, and we are just getting started. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it, respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.